Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is another basketball reaction, and Johnny Arnett, this guy, wait, what? I'm watching this on my, wait, I'm gonna search this up, because I'm not trying to watch this on my second channel, because I'll get adverts. I'm so stupid. Johnny Arnett. How has that happened? What a good intro this has been, but, pause. Johnny Arnett, I mean, there's this specific guy, and if you are like on my channel a lot and you see the comments a lot, you will know who this is. I can't say his name. Stacy Moller, whoever you are, has been suggesting this for a long time, and I've seen the suggestions a lot, and I was going to do them a lot, but I just sort of felt like, you know what, I might be a bit of a psycho here. I might just sort of let's just see how much longer you can do this. But I thought, and eventually, like, I should actually get to it. And the video is, I don't think there was a specific video reaction, it was just a channel. But I mean, the video is Dream Team versus Redeem Team, and analysed look at who would win. And the Dream Team is like the team from the past that I remember doing a reaction, like when they were at the Olympics, they just tore everyone to shreds. It's like the MJ's era basically, versus the Redeem Team. I don't know who the Redeem Team is. I'm guessing it's like a team maybe more recently or from a longer time ago. We'll see, but I'm interested in seeing this. It actually is a very interesting title for me, and if you want any more reactions from this guy or other videos like this, I'm down to do it, man. I really am. I want to get back into the sort of the older reactions I do. I probably won't be able to do as many reactions as I did in it. I can't talk. I did in the past, but I want to try and post every day, whether it be one sport, another sport, and just sort of be consistent with it, because I have had a lot of suggestions for it, and I do enjoy these reactions. It's just so hard. Like, some days I can't react. Some days I just sort of want to just sort of chill and not like do anything really. So sometimes I'll like do loads of videos in one, and then I'll leave it for another day. But then sometimes I want to do loads of videos, and I just sort of struggle with which ones to do. But I'm trying to be more I can't think. I'm trying to be more trying to do more planning with what I do, so I can sort of react to videos. I'll write them down, I'll react to them a certain day, and then just sort of do it like that. So I mean, the more organised I am, that's the word I was looking for, the more I'll be able to do these reactions. When I move house properly, so I'm moving in about nearly 3 weeks from now, I will be able to be a lot more sort of just at it with YouTube videos, because I'm going to have my own place, I'm going to have my own sort of proper setup, and I don't know, I'm just excited, man. I've got a lot of stuff to do before then, so there may be a bit of inconsistent sort of uploads here and there on the main and the second channel, but I am looking to be a lot more consistent with the main channel, and I want to get back to how it was before. Again, I don't know if I'll be able to do 2 sports reactions a day because of the main channel, but I do want to do reactions consistently, and whenever everything's sorted, I hope to get it like that. But I'm rambling. Let's get into this one and see what this video's about, man.
The Dream Team and the Redeem Team.
So the Redeem Team. So that's Dwayne. I'm not going to know all these players. Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Kobe, Carmelo Anthony, I'm pretty sure. I don't know a lot of these players as well, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't know who this is. Looks like a... I'm not even going to say, actually. Who's this? I should probably know some of these, but... And who's this as well? I don't know, but let's get into this one.
Team. The 2 greatest
ballers there,
basketball
man.
teams ever assembled.
Proper
Both
ballers.
teams were loaded with Hall of Famers and driven with...
And I mean, this one is
when
next
the
level, man.
1992 Dream Team was assembled, it
Turn
marked
it
the
up.
first time in U.S. Olympic history that the USA team would be represented by NBA players. They were coming off of the 1988 Olympics, in which the USA team only managed a bronze medal. The new professional Olympians...
From that point, they were like, you know what? Let's just throw our full strength squad and just beat everyone, man. Just slap them up, man. That's what they were like.
ready to
Because they
dominate
knew
the
they
rest
could.
of the world as basically the Avengers of the basketball universe. And dominate is exactly what they did. On their way to the gold medal, the US crushed every single opponent by at least 32 points. At the time, they were without question the greatest basketball team ever assembled.
Bro, look at these faces, man. Just look at these. Bro, this team Oh, this team, man.
As the years have gone on, the game has become an obsession on a more global scale, and the rest of the world has been improving on its abilities. This was never more evident than in the 2004 Olympics, when the USA men's basketball team only managed a bronze medal as Argentina secured the gold.
Was that a strong squad as well?
This motivated the men's
Wait, was this 2004? I want to actually see the squad because I think I saw LeBron there. I might be wrong with that, but he must have been very young then as well. US men's 2004 basketball. Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade. So how young were they at that point? So 25. So he was like 29. I'm gonna read the ones I know. Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James. LeBron would have been 20 actually. Tim Duncan, bro. There's some solid players there. Solid is an understatement. Some elite players there. Oh my days. And I mean, I know Manu Ginobili was playing for Argentina then, but I wonder who else was. Wait, if I click this, does it show? Does it show theirs? Wait, 2002. Okay, I'm confused now. 2006. I don't know when that even was.
U.S. program to have a new level of focus and determination heading into the 2008 Olympics. Coach Mike Krzyzewski stepped in, and the world's best players joined together to form the Redeem Team.
That's a squad,
the Redeem Team steamrolled the competition on their way to the gold, winning their games by an average disparity of 28 points. Both USA teams destroyed the competition, and never before or since has there been teams assembled as powerful as these two squads. On the Dream Team was Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Chris Mullin, Karl Malone, and John Stockton.
Bro,
Technically, Christian Laettner was on the team too,
man.
but he won't be much of a determining factor. On the Redeem Team was Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, Chris Bosh, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul,
Jason Kidd,
Carlos
didn't even notice
Boozer,
him.
Darren Williams, Tayshaun Prince, and Michael Redd. Mike Gorzemba did his own video on this comparison, but in it, he let the NBA 2K simulation be the determining factor. In this video, I'll be taking more of an analytical approach, and by the end of this, we'll determine who would win this matchup. We'll be looking at all kinds of different factors, from how the international game is played to the different matchups on the floor. So without any further ado, let's get into it. First off, let's take a look at the talent at the very top of the roster for both teams, starting with the three best players. The Dream Team is obviously loaded with talent and all-time greats, but when you think about the best they have to offer, three players come to mind: Michael, Magic, and Larry. These three were responsible for carrying the NBA throughout the 80s and 90s, and each one of these guys are easily in the top 10 greatest players of all time. With all of that being said, timing is a huge factor in this comparison. At the time the Dream Team was assembled, these three players were not all in the prime of their careers. Sure, Michael Jordan was a back-to-back NBA champion. He was arguably the best player on both sides of the ball, and was in the middle of building his argument as the greatest player of all time. Magic and Larry, on the other hand, were completely different stories. Magic Johnson had already retired from the NBA due to his HIV announcement, and had previously missed an entire season of basketball before lacing them up again for the '92 Olympics. Although this Magic Johnson was still solid, this wasn't the prime shape Magic Johnson of the mid-'80s who was winning championships and MVP awards. Larry was in a much worse state. Bird, along with Magic, had also retired from the NBA and was 35 years old at the time, dealing with severe and chronic back problems. You could often find Larry laying courtside to deal with the back pain. He played in very limited minutes throughout the Olympic Games, and the only players he outscored were the two pass-first point guards, Magic Johnson and John Stockton, and of course the college kid, Christian Laettner, who honestly didn't do much of anything for the Dream Team. So essentially you had a prime Michael Jordan, a Magic Johnson a little beyond his years, and a Larry Bird who was a complete shell of what he once was. Now compare that to the three best players of the Redeem Team: Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade. Kobe was at the height of his powers, coming off of an MVP season and a trip to the finals in which he had recently lost to the Boston Celtics. This was one of the most competitively driven and motivated version of Kobe the league had seen, and players testified that it showed in his workouts and preparations for those summer games. LeBron was still young and maturing, but athletically speaking, this was the prime of his career. Dwayne Wade was also in his prime and actually led the entire Redeem team in scoring over the summer games.
Oh, wow.
All three of these legends were in their mid to late 20s, which is a stark contrast from the Dream Team's stars. The greatest and glaring mismatch would be at the small forward position. A quick, strong, and physically primed 24-year-old LeBron James would be a near impossible task for the back injury-laden 35-year-old Larry Bird to handle. In Larry Bird's prime, he was a good defender, but the 1992 version of Bird was far from his prime form.
Look at him, bro.
Larry would be slow defensively during their games and would spend a majority of the match laying on the sideline to deal with the back pain. To put it simply, LeBron would have an absolute feast in this contest whenever Larry was on the floor across
He's
from
loving
him.
life right now.
Regardless of Jordan's greatness, the edge in this aspect goes to the Redeem Team. As you go deeper into the rosters, you begin to notice an advantage for the Dream Team, and that's the big men. Sure, the Redeem Team has Dwight Howard, who is at the height of his powers as well. He was a top 5 player in the league at this point, and he was an anchor defensively, but with that being said, he doesn't have much help in the paint with only Chris Bosh and Carlos Boozer to back him up, and he'll have the responsibility of containing David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, and Charles Barkley. That's just too much firepower in the paint and in the post for the Dream Team to not give them an overwhelming advantage in this area.
Nasty lineup.
Dwight will do the best he can do to contest shots and handle all that physicality down low. But those Dream Team players are some of the greatest centers and power forwards in NBA history who were accustomed to bullying opponents around with their strength and physicality, and they'll be owning the rebounding battle as well. Speaking of physicality, this is an area where the international game is quite different from the NBA style of play and officiating. Teams are allowed to play a more physical style of basketball in international basketball. The refereeing is just far more lenient. More contact is allowed and less reach-in fouls are called. Notably, this was a particular advantage that Kobe Bryant used in the 2008 Olympic Games. Kobe took on the assignment of guarding the opposing best player night in and night out, and he was clearly a frustration to opposing players with his new level of physical intensity being permitted. So since Kobe used this to his advantage, you might think that this is an advantage that works towards the benefit of the Redeem Team. But I actually think this physicality would more strongly benefit the '92 Dream Team. Jordan and Pippen are two of the greatest wing defenders in NBA history. With their strength, length, and giant hands, they would cause all kinds of problems for the Redeem Team. John Stockton was a feisty defensive point guard as well, who is also the all-time leader in steals. He would greatly benefit from the more lenient play as well. Obviously, the Redeem Team could also ramp up their defensive intensity too, but with Jordan and Pippen already suffocating you defensively, the last thing they need is more leniency to rough you up on the perimeter. This is an aspect and advantage that's in favor of the Dream Team. On the other side of the spectrum from the physicality is the perimeter shooting and the three-point revolution that's taken the NBA by storm. The 2008 team was better at the three ball, which matters significantly, especially when you consider that the three-point line is closer in international play. In the Olympic Games, the three-point line is only 20 feet 6 inches away from the basket. That's closer to college ball distance than the NBA. The NBA is at 22 feet on the corners and 23 feet 9 inches from the top of the arc. The long, inefficient two-point shots are now just close three-pointers in the Olympics, which is why guys like Carmelo Anthony, who aren't typically great three-point shooters, suddenly look like some of the greatest three-point shooters ever in the Olympics. Kobe also becomes a fantastic three-point shooter, since he too is a lover of the long two-point jumpers. With shooters like Melo, Kobe, Chris Paul, Michael Redd, and Deron Williams, the Redeem Team has the advantage in this area, but it's not quite as clear as some of you might initially think. The Dream Team have shooters like Chris Mullin, Clyde Drexler, and Larry Bird. The shorter three-point line also makes Michael Jordan a viable three-point option as well. In the '92 Olympics, Jordan and Mullin together actually shot more three-pointers than the rest of the Dream Team combined. So again, although the Redeem Team has an edge on perimeter shooting, the Dream Team can certainly hang. The last aspect I'll touch on is the overall depth for each team and how the second units match up. Based on health and talent, you're likely looking at a Dream Team starting lineup of Magic, Jordan, Pippen, Barkley, and Robinson going up against Chris Paul, Kobe, LeBron, Carmelo, and Dwight Howard. That's a pretty solid 5-on-5. But once players rest and the rotation players come in, that's where the depth of the Dream Team begins to become overwhelming. The Dream Team's second unit looks like John Stockton, Clyde Drexler, Larry Bird, Karl Malone, and Patrick Ewing. That's their freaking bench mob. That second group has defense, experience, shooting, IQ, and rebounding. They really aren't missing much. They would be up against the second unit of Deron Williams, Dwayne Wade, Tayshaun Prince, Carlos Boozer, and Chris Bosh. Other than Wade and maybe Bosh, this second unit would get absolutely destroyed by the Dream Team's second unit. And when the Redeem Team starters head to the bench, that's when they would start to fall behind. After you consider the main factors, from the star players, the defense, physicality, shooting, and depth, I would pick the Dream Team's 11 Hall of Famers to prevail over the Redeem Team's 8 future Hall of Famers.
I can't even lie.
In a
Look at him yawning quite in the picture.
single game, I'm picking them to win in an 8 to 12 point victory, and in a best of 7, I'm taking the Dream Team in 6. Again, I have my analytical notes, but this is all just speculation in my opinion. Who knows, maybe the Redeem Team would surprise me in this hypothetical situation. Let me know in the comments section who you think would win in a 7-game series and how many games it would take. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content.
Who's he shushing there, bro? Who's he shushing there?
I'll see you guys in the next video.
Honestly, I can't argue with this. And firstly, shout out to this guy. I now understand why there was a lot of suggestions for him from the same person, because this is a very interesting video, and I'm definitely down to see more of this guy's channel. I need to get back onto the basketball reactions, man. I've realized how much I actually do enjoy just these sort of random comparison type videos of just things that obviously aren't possible, but it's still just so fun to see, man. I really enjoy these sorts of videos, man. And I'm definitely going to be looking to do more. But I can't argue with what he said. I mean, that Dream Team the second roster is just ridiculous. Like, that second roster could compete with the first one in a game, I reckon. Obviously not win, but just compete to a certain degree, man. Like, that was a ridiculous team. Lord, imagine having Stockton to Malone as your backup line. Who in their right mind would bet against Prime Jordan now? If these two teams played, it would be Scottie Pippen guarding LeBron. Charles Barkley outplayed them all. I've watched the games and Charles was a monster. There's no other team that can surpass the Dream Team. There will never be. Come on, Pippen and Michael would have drastically limited LeBron and Kobe. There is no comparison. The Dream Team is a far better team. Dream Team would destroy them even without MJ. Every player in Dream Team is a legend by himself. Boozer, Howard, Prince, Red, Bosh, Lola. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting one for sure. I mean, when you look at it from this point of view, it is quite an easy one to see. But the Redeem Team was still very, very good. And, like, in themselves, they would have been able to compete. But yeah, that Dream Team was different. Like, it's just full of legends, full of icons. But I mean, maybe in 10 years' time, the Redeem Team, a lot of the players will be seen in that light, because you don't often see someone as like an icon of the sport until they're gone, until they've stopped playing. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely an interesting one for sure. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. Suggest some more basketball reactions that you want me to do. And until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.